Again, Brian Baldinger, we heard from the last segment, talking about what he sees now with the Browns' defense.
Jim Schwartz played, maybe New Orleans played more man coverage, but not much more than what Cleveland played. And they had three guys, in Denzel Ward, Newsome, and Emerson, that would just go out there and challenge you, and then allow Miles to get after it. And whoever else was on that defensive line, including now Mason Graham, the rookie, fifth pick in the draft. So I don't know if they can still play that style. It remains to be seen. I know this. When I watched them, they were starting two rookies. They're starting the first-round pick, Mason Graham, and they're starting their second-round pick, Carson Schwessinger, out of UCLA. And it looks like I asked him if he's, because he never came off the field when I was there. Nickel, dime, pass rush situations, base, he was on the field. So I think he's going to wear the green dot. I think he's going to end up being the captain of the defense. They've had a lot of turnover at linebacker over the years. So I feel like those are two guys you can really watch and check out. Replacing Martin Emerson Jr. is going to be tough.
So, Lance, yesterday we had Panthers beat reporter Alex Zetlow on, and he mentioned Tet McMillan was a problem. It's a big wide receiver that the Panthers took out of Arizona in the first round, 8th pick, I believe it was. Do you think the Browns are going to have trouble now that Emerson's out with those big-bodied wide receivers that Emerson was physical with? I mean, Ward is physical, Newsome's physical. They're not built to take on guys like that.
Well, if I was going in without Emerson, my first thought would be I'm going to take away the best receiver with Denzel Ward. Now, everybody thinks of that differently. I know Jim Schwartz has a lot of confidence in his guys, and that's why he's one of the best coaches in the world, especially on the defensive side of the ball. But that would be the first thing I do. I don't care about how big a guy is. Watching Denzel Ward every day, if he stays healthy, he's as good as it gets. And I'm talking anybody in the league. He is a great cover corner. However, they might have to have a little safety top of over the top when Newsom's on them if they want to bang. Now they got to be. I think the corners have to be really good at the line of scrimmage to make sure that these big, tall receivers don't get free releases. Maybe they get help over the top with that one free safety. Maybe Denzel Ward goes to the second best receiver. We used to do that as well, where your best corner covers the second best receiver, then you double the best one. So there's different ways you can attack and different ways you can do things. But again, defensively, this comes down to creating pressure. A big, tall receiver is usually at his best when the ball is being thrown downfield. So if you can create pressure and get pressure, that eliminates those deep throws. And then underneath, those guys usually aren't as good underneath with sudden twitchy routes, hitches, things like that. So that, once again, those big receivers, they have to be negated by the Browns' defensive front creating pressure on that quarterback. But again, I think Tony Brown, Chiguze Anuzium, the guy they got, those guys are both 6 foot, 200 pounds. So they got some big body guys. They just got to make sure they help if they feel that they're undermanned against certain teams at receiver position.